Choose one: Steven Stamkos or Nathan MacKinnon. Nathan MacKinnon signed a contract in September of 2022 that made him the highest paid player annually at that time in the NHL. His 8-year deal is worth over $100 million. More importantly, it will likely keep Nathan on his current team and hopefully for the rest of his NHL career. This offseason, the Tampa Bay Lightning took a much different approach with the face of their franchise and former number 1 overall pick, Steven Stamkos. Both MacKinnon and Stamkos played their entire careers for just one team in just one city. With the two players on diverging paths, it has us wondering, which first-round pick would you choose for your hockey team? So, are you a Stammer fan or a follower of the miracle to happen to the Colorado Avalanche, Nathan MacKinnon? The parameters of their contracts are slightly different, as the two players are indeed at different points in their career and their age, but the dynamic is quite similar. Both players have spent their entire careers playing for the same organization. Both players are the first-round picks, and both play the game at an extremely elite level. Both players have won Stanley Cups for their cities, and both players have surpassed 50 goals in a single season. There's really not too many boxes left to check for either one of these players. They've pretty much done it all up to this point in their careers. And we do see even more similarities between these two star-studded players. Obviously, both players are extremely gifted, but beyond that, both of these legends hail from Canada and therefore grew up playing in the Canadian Hockey League, aka the CHL, which is actually made up of 3 smaller leagues. Stamkos played in one called the Ontario Hockey League, while MacKinnon played in a different one called the Quebec Maritimes Junior Hockey League, with the third league being named the Western Hockey League. Steven Stamkos was a young phenom from Ontario, Canada. In his first taste of minor league hockey, he racked up points at an astounding rate. This young player somehow managed to tally up 197 points in 66 games with the Markham Waxers. He scored an unheard of triple-digit amount of goals with 105 goals and 92 assists, again in just 66 games. I mean, holy smokes, man, those kinds of numbers are really off the chart. The Sarnia Sting, an OHL team, made a very wise decision by drafting him first round in the 2006 OHL draft. They knew that Stammer was a beast with a ton of upside. Stamkos ripped this league to pieces. In Season 1, he had 42 goals and 50 assists for 92 points total throughout 63 games. The next season, he improved on those numbers just a little bit with even 2 less games, getting 58 goals and a slightly less 47 assists for 105 points in 61 games. It was clear that Steven Stamkos was ready for the big show. In 2008, the Tampa Bay Lightning selected Steven Stamkos with their first overall draft pick. The Ontario native Stamkos hit the ground running in the NHL. In his rookie season, he potted in 23 goals with 23 helpers and played in 79 of the 82 games that season. Over the next 3 consecutive years, he played in all 82 of the games and finished each season with over 90 points. Twice, he won the Rocket Richard Trophy after leading the league in scoring with 51 and 60 goals, respectively. Holy smokes, it's pretty wild to think such a young player could make a big difference in the NHL, but that's exactly what the Stammer did. He really lit the league on fire upon his arrival. With all of the impressive early success, it's fair to say that most people expected a Stanley Cup to be hoisted pretty early in his career. But it wasn't for about a whole decade when the Lightning finally struck gold. The team would just keep falling short of their ultimate dream. It was the 2019 to 2020 season when it all came together for the Bolts. Surprisingly, and unfortunately for Stamkos, he was actually injured and only played in 1 playoff game that year, which, of course, he scored in that game. That doesn't mean he wasn't a huge part of the Lightning's journey to get there, however. He scored himself 29 regular season goals in only 57 games with another 37 assists for 66 points, easily maintaining that 1 point or more per game tier of performance. The championship was still well-deserved for Stamkos, even though he had a core-related muscle injury that limited his play both in the regular season and severely in the playoffs. The following season after the Cup win had even more ups and downs for the Bolts. Stamkos would dress up for 38 regular season games in a season affected by COVID-19. The Lightning Bolts would persevere and make it into the playoffs. This time, Stammer was able to help the squad during this playoff run. He kicked in 18 points as the Lightning would indeed win back-to-back Stanley Cup championships after defeating the Montreal Canadiens. Well done, gentlemen. Good job, Lightning Bolts. The following season was the 2021-22 season, and the Lightning were on a one-way collision course with a three-peat, and they damn nearly got that three-peat, but a young man named Nathan MacKinnon stood in their way. Nathan, the Dog MacKinnon, and the Colorado Avalanche had other ideas for the Stanley Cup that season. Nathan MacKinnon grew up in Halifax, Nova Scotia. Before he was even a teenager, he was piling up points in hockey at a remarkable rate. Nathan was a younger player competing against kids much older than he and still dominating in those games. This kid Nathan was simply something special. He was selected first in his juniors league draft, not too surprisingly, and during his first season in the Quebec Maritimes League, MacKinnon played in 58 games, scoring 37 goals with 47 assists, for a mind-boggling total of 78 points throughout 58 games. In year 2, he played nearly 15 less games, but had almost identical stats to his prior season, with 32 goals and 43 assists for 75 points in only 44 games. Nathan MacKinnon's Halifax Mooseheads won the championship, an amazing moment for the hometown hero and, of course, his family and friends. His parents had season tickets to the Mooseheads even before their star player played for the organization. That team is near and dear to the hearts of many of the Halifax residents. Patrick Roy, a longtime coach in the Quebec Maritimes League, coached against Nathan in his league, so he knew what kind of talent was coming up. Roy, who had just been named head coach and vice president of hockey operations for the Colorado Avalanche, made it no secret that his priority was to draft Nathan MacKinnon. Luckily for him, the Avalanche owned that first overall draft pick for that year. So Patrick Roy and the Colorado Avs organization did just that in 2013. It was a fairly easy decision for the front office, and Nathan responded accordingly and won the Calder Trophy in his rookie season, breaking all kinds of records along the way. Even though he is an incredible player, it wasn't exactly the smoothest transition for MacKinnon into the NHL. After the impressive 24 goals and 63 points in his awesome rookie season, MacKinnon's following 3 seasons were much less impressive. MacKinnon topped out at 53 points, and it just so happens his team missed the playoffs all 3 of those seasons. Part of Nathan's issues were team-related, but part of it was also personal struggles. Prior to the following season in 2017-18, Nathan MacKinnon wisely hired a sports psychologist. This really helped the Avs forward unlock his inner strengths by focusing on the processes as opposed to focusing on the results. And, well, those results of the psychologist spoke for themselves immediately. He quite nearly doubled his point total, accumulating 39 goals and 58 assists for 97 points. And that 97 points afforded his team a bid into the playoffs. And then at this point, MacKinnon's skills reached a new level. He would repeat very similar statistics over the next few years, and the Avalanche would advance in each postseason. They would ultimately lose in the second round 3 seasons in a row for some reason, but the results were becoming much more lavish for MacKinnon. It wasn't until the 2021-22 season when the boys in Colorado finally cashed in. When the Avs won the Stanley Cup, Nathan led the playoffs with 13 goals in 20 games, and he made himself a strong case to win the Conn Smythe Trophy, but his amazing teammate Cale Makar took home the award instead. Winning the Stanley Cup for the Colorado Avs seemed to take some sort of weight off of Nathan MacKinnon's shoulders. For the next year, he again rose to a new level of skill. He buried a career-high 42 goals and also had a career-high in assists with 69. And while that's all very impressive, this is the dog we're talking about here, and he's still hungry. So in 2023-24, he outdid himself with another career high with an insane 51 goals, with 89 apples for an insane 140 points. It's safe to say that guy keeps finding new gears. So after going over the career of each player, we think we've reached an answer to our question. For us, we're taking Nathan MacKinnon all day, every day. This Colorado Avalanche forward has been aging like a fine wine. He just keeps getting better the more he ages. We have nothing against Steven Stamkos. As a matter of fact, the guy is a winner in every sense of the word, and he absolutely is an above-average skilled player. But with Nathan MacKinnon's trajectory, it seems as if his best years might still be in front of him, and we're excited to see if there's even another level to his already insane game. Only time can tell, but Nathan is our dude for sure. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you liked our video, press the thumbs up button to tell us and YouTube that you liked the video. If you haven't already, subscribe to our cool hockey channel here. And speaking of hockey, it's about that season, hockey fans.